This texture, I mean, look at it. It is so springy and bouncy. I'm barely moving it.
Hey, it's Calvin and Carolina, and we're on a mission to find the best vegan food in New York City. Today, we're checking out one of New York's best tofu spots, Fong On in Manhattan, Chinatown. Fong On is a family establishment that goes back since the 1930s. They have soy milk, tofu, and even rice cakes that we're gonna try today. Although many people think of tofu as just a meat substitute, it's so much more than that. There's a whole world to cooking and eating tofu, especially in Asian cuisine.
We love eating tofu because it's so versatile and delicious. It can be soft, firm, fried, stinky, so many different ways to eat it.
And a great place to start and try tofu is a place like Fong On, where they actually make everything themselves from scratch. Today we're gonna try some of their tofu puddings and also their rice cakes. First, we have their savory tofu pudding. The tofu pudding is a unique type of tofu you probably can't find at your local grocery store. It's super silky and soft. This one we're trying has pickled radishes, fried shallots, scallions, sesame oil, and chili sauce too. We asked for it without the dry shrimp to make it vegan. You can see the textures of the tofu, super soft and creamy, and you got some crunchy toppings on the top here. This is the savory one, so we're gonna start with that one first. If you think tofu is boring, you gotta try this kind of tofu pudding.
There's a lot of flavor going on there. Very spicy kick is the first impression. The tofu is super silky. It definitely has that like strong spice that stays in the back of your throat. The onions are really nice and crunchy on top. I'll say everything blends really nicely together. They give you a lot of topping. So when you're eating the tofu, there's no like naked tofu really. It's all mixed in with the sauce. All right, now we're gonna try the green machine, which looks delicious. It has green beans, aloe, and boba. I can't wait to try it. I'm just gonna try a little bit of the aloe more. It's super refreshing. They've slightly sweetened it, but it definitely still tastes like aloe, but it's delicious. So I just wanted to show the green beans a little bit because these are not what a lot of people are thinking when I say green beans. This is a Chinese green bean. So this is not your whole bean. This is not like what you would get at the farmer's market. They make everything here from scratch. They have this boba that they made from scratch. It looks beautiful. This one is super unique. Like, I definitely gravitate towards the red bean. I don't usually get green bean, but this one's really delicious. I think that it almost has, the green bean has a nutty flavor to it that it brings.
Yeah, you see they put a lot of toppings on this. There's a lot of tofu on the bottom. And they actually, when they scoop the tofu, it's not one block. They scoop different layers onto it. And so it's almost like scooping ice cream a little bit. You see that? And they put a lot of these toppings on here. In our last video, we talked about how Asian desserts aren't always as sweet as Western ones, and this is the same thing. So it's not as sweet as you might expect a Western dessert to be, but it's got subtle flavors, unique textures, and it's really delicious. You can get this giant thing for $6. The large is $7.50. I'm sure the large is like twice as big. This is their can't go wrong tofu pudding. So they're not tapioca, these are taro balls. You can see them. And then it has this grass jelly, and then also these red beans here. And of course it has the tofu on the bottom here. This one's my favorite. I love the taste of red bean. And if you like boba, you're gonna love the taro balls because it's like extra large boba.
It's delicious. This one is my favorite because I love red bean and I love grass jelly. The taro balls are just like amazing on top. I think the combination of the three is super satisfying. Again, these are all just like slightly sweet, but just such a refreshing dessert. I think that with the tofu, it's just like such a beautiful combination. I'm a huge red bean fan, so I knew this one would be my favorite, but it really did exceed my expectations. A lot of people think of getting ice cream in the summer, but this is just as refreshing. So many unique textures in combination with each other. They're just like complementing each other. Every bite is slightly different because every piece of tofu breaks slightly differently, so I think it's just amazing.
So we're gonna try these rice cakes. You can see this is like a glutinous rice cake. I think one of the biggest differences between Chinese and American food is not just the flavor, but really the textures. This is like a very spongy texture. I love it, but if you're not used to it, you might have to get it's an acquired taste. So these are the brown ones. They have white, brown, ginger, and matcha. I'm gonna try it without the syrup first. I really like this. This is yummy. They just sold out of all the rice cakes, so I'm glad we just got some right in time. I feel like a little kid when I'm eating it. It's very nostalgic. It's so bouncy and chewy at the same time.
This texture, I mean, look at it. It is so springy and bouncy. I'm barely moving it, and it's just completely flexible. They come with this little syrup. I'm gonna dip it into the syrup now. You can get a box of 6 for only $5, and they're large. They're very large. It's not small. It's like a very big box. You can do 2 flavors, 3 and 3 in each box. So if you wanted to do 3 matcha, 3 brown, you could do that. I also am really sad that we didn't get to try the matcha one. We'll be back because I honestly think the matcha one would be amazing. They make this soy milk fresh on site. Wow. We got the sweetened soy milk. You can get it sweetened or unsweetened. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Like, if you've ever had silk, just don't think of that right now. This is completely different. Just like if you've had packaged tofu, fresh tofu is nothing like packaged tofu. Trust us on this one. Even if it's packaged here, it's gonna be better because they're making it fresh. So please try it, because if you've only had packaged tofu, you're basically getting old tofu versus fresh. So there is a difference in texture, flavor, and the same thing with this soy drink. This is unlike anything I've had since we were in Asia. The difference would be that when you're drinking fresh soy milk, just like when you're drinking fresh oat milk or any other kind of nut milk that you're making at home, it actually tastes like the bean or the nut that you're making into milk. I would say that a lot of the commercial milks, they don't actually taste like those things. They kind of have like a bland flavor to them, like maybe they're trying to be more neutral, as in they're trying to cover up what they are, but this soy milk has such a pure soy flavor. It's delicious. It's literally just water, soybeans, and sugar. So for those of you who don't like store-bought milk because of all the preservatives, there are 0 preservatives in this milk.
Thank you so much for watching our video and checking out Fong On with us.
Let us know in the comments where you want us to go next, or if there's something you want us to try soon. See you next time.